Guys, did I just make sure it's recording here? Okay. Yesterday when I talked about this potential, and it looks like it's heading in that direction more than before, this potential $1 billion deal that'll be going down this Wednesday at the Paramount Theater in Madison Square Garden with for AEW and Tony Khan, along with other announcements that are going to be made, you know, for other networks and cable channels and stuff. you know, if this goes in the direction it's more than likely to go in, not only is AEW going to make a bunch of money over the next several years, and mostly Tony Khan going to be making a bunch of money over the next several years, but as I said, there is a bit of a fine print catch to it. There is a fine print catch to this. And you know what that fine print catch is? That fine print catch is that if you think Tony Khan was at the whim, the beck and call of Warner Brothers Discovery in the past, if you think he was at the beck and call at the whim, in the past, when he would have to use episodes of Dynamite and Rampage to promote the likes of House of Dragon, Shark Week, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and other stuff. If you think he was at the beck and call and whim, then if if the $1 billion deal for the next 5 to 6 years is a reality on Wednesday, then he is going to be at the beck and call more so than he's ever been. I mean, I'll put it to you like this: a lot of people, get on WWE for the fact that they are at the whim, they are at the beck and call of NBC, Universal, and Fox. All because NBC and Universal and Fox individually are fronting the bill for SmackDown to be on Fox and Monday Night Raw to be on USA. And that because of that, they have to basically do whatever USA or Fox tells them to do. In this case, with Monday Night Raw, USA basically said, and I mentioned it yesterday, oh, Vince, we like those occasional 3-hour special editions of Raw you do. Let's make it a regular occurrence, a regular weekly occurrence. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? That's exactly what occurred. That instead of Vince McMahon, and his crew saying no, that's going to ruin the product, that's going to drive fans away, what did USA, NBC, Universal say? They said, well, you don't have a final say in it. We do. We're the ones fronting the bill. You're doing it. And guess what? Guess what? Here we are today with 3 hours of Raw on every Monday night. Now, I bring all this up, like I said, because, Tony Khan is going to eventually be looking at a similar scenario, maybe. And that scenario is that if Warner Brothers Discovery and the people in charge of their television networks and streaming services feel like it, they could tell Tony Khan, if this $1 billion deal is true, and even if it's not, if it's close to it, they could still tell him, because they'll be fronting the bill for AEW Dynamite to be on TBS, for Rampage and Collision to be on TNT, and Battle of the Belts to be on TBS or TNT. They're going to be fronting the bill, and because of that, because they're going to be fronting the bill more so than ever, financially, if they feel like it one day, they could approach Tony Khan and say, Tony, you know what? You know what we feel? We feel like AEW Dynamite should go to 3 hours. Or, you know what we feel? We feel the new CM Punk centric Collision show should be 3 hours. And guess what will happen? Guess what will happen? Dynamite or Collision, they could end up getting a third hour whether we as fans want it or not. All because Warner Brothers Discovery and the people that are in charge of the television and streaming departments, if you will, who are going to be fronting financially the next 5 to 6 years with this near $1 billion deal that they're making with AEW and Tony Khan, they are going to have the final say. Whether Tony Khan agrees with it or not, more than likely not, they're going to tell him, well, we don't care, Tony. We're the ones fronting it. It's on our network. We have the final say, so you're doing it. Again, it's the same thing, with Vince McMahon and WWE. Do you think, honestly, despite how you feel about Vince McMahon, do you think, honestly, when this deal was made with NBC Universal, that he wanted when they came up to him and said, hey, we want you to expand Monday Night Raw 3 hours? Do you think he was willing to do that? No. But the other one's fronting the bill, and he doesn't want to lose money. He doesn't want to, sour a current partnership he's in, and burn bridges and everything. So what does he do? He has no choice but to agree to it. And that's the same thing here with Tony Khan. And Tony Khan, hopefully, is made aware of that. Hopefully, he realizes that what he's getting himself into is a situation to where if you thought he was at the beck and call and the whims before with making, within the span of a couple of days or a week, episodes of Dynamite and Rampage, based around and stuff promoting, House of Dragons, Game of Thrones, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Flash, whatever. If you think that was an annoyance before, or a little bit of an annoyance, along with, potentially some good in-ring, wrestling and storytelling and all that, if you think that was an annoyance, then get ready to get annoyed even more, because with this deal, they're going to be making him use, Dynamite and Rampage and Collision as fodder to promote any products they want to promote. Whether it makes sense or it doesn't, or it's necessary or it's not. They are going to make him do that. And why? Because they're the ones fronting the bill, and they will have the final say. And that includes, ladies and gentlemen, Dynamite and Collision potentially expanding to 3 hours. That is a reality. That is a reality we as wrestling fans have to face and realize. I mean, if you think you're annoyed right now with 3 hours of Raw, basically saying, hey, the first 2 hours was great to get through, but, oh man, this third final hour is a slot to get through. If you think that becomes a hindrance at times, just you wait. If Warner Brothers Discovery feels like they want to expand, Dynamite and Collision, which is going to be the Raw and SmackDown, for AEW. If you think they're not going to consider doing that in the future, almost lost my train of thought there, then you got another thing coming, because they will. And like I said, if you're annoyed with 3 hours of Raw, get ready to be annoyed even more if this happens. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just trying to set in the reality. I'm just trying to set in the reality of the fact that, when they feel like it, and this is what I was trying to say before I lost my train of thought there, if they feel like it and when they feel like it, because it's going to happen. Let's be honest. It may not happen right away, but down the line in the next 5 to 6 years, if they feel like it, they're going to make it happen. They will tell Tony Khan, you're going to expand Dynamite. You're going to expand Collision to 3 hours, whether you want to or not. And why? Because we're the ones that call the shots. And that's a reality we all have to face. That is a reality we all have to face. And I know people like JD from NY206, Jason Solomon to Sounds Off, Alex Six, Just Alex, Alex Central, Alex's World, OTR Central, Brian Zane, Wrestling with Grit, everybody that I follow, even people like Meltzer and Alvarez, they have to realize that that's a reality that is, even closer than ever before, especially when this deal goes down. Because honestly, and hold on while I check something here, guys. Hold on. Honestly, if you think, just check it out. Honestly, if you think, like I said, if you think that's not going to happen, then you're wrong. If you don't think that's going to be a temptation to Warner Brothers Discovery, you're wrong. Because it will be a temptation. It'll be a temptation that they're going to want to take a taste of. They're going to want to take a bite out of. I mean, let's go back to Nitro. A lot of people want to say that the expansion of 3 hours of Nitro was a Bischoff idea. No, it wasn't a Bischoff idea. It may have been a suggestion, but it wasn't an idea. That decision came from the people at Turner at that time that was supporting WCW and wanting to see it succeed. And because they were seeing it succeed the way it was at that time, they decided, hey, let's take advantage of this and really try to, drive the nails home into the coffin of WWF, let's go to 3 hours and really stick it to them. And that was all a Ted Turner Broadcasting, Turner Sports executive decision. Not just an Eric Bischoff one, but mostly Ted Turner and Turner Sports. And you all know that. You all know that. And that is the reality we have to look at here. The reality being that history could repeat itself. Because, again, if you think Warner Brothers Discovery is not going to consider, after this deal goes down, whether it is $1 billion or close to it, if you don't think they're going to consider being the ones basically bankrolling this endeavor, if you will, that, hey, we could expand Dynamite and Collision to 3 hours and get more bang for our buck, to coin a phrase when it comes to the Young Bucks. If you don't think they won't consider that, they will. And if you don't think, even despite that they're not going to utilize Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision more than they've ever have before to promote all their other products, to theme those episodes around all the other shows and products, you are wrong. Because since they're going to be bankrolling this whole situation in the next 5 to 6 years at $1 billion, you would be damn crazy not to think they're not going to say, hey, we're making the calls, you're going to do this whether you like it or not. Because they will. Again, the positive of this is that AEW, is going to make a lot of profit out of this. Tony Khan's going to make a lot of profit out of this. They're going to be finally up on that high upper echelon that people feel they've always needed to be on. A lot of positives coming out of this. A lot of positives, if you will. Not just for Tony Khan and the company, but for the wrestlers. Like contract extensions, contract, bonuses, re-signing, signing new talent. It's all coming. It is all coming, if you will. Honestly, it really is. It is all coming. But the catch, the fine catch, if you will, as I said, the fine catch is the fact that basically Tony Khan and AEW is going to be at the beck and call and the whim of Warner Bros. Discovery more so than ever. Because again, if they want to expand Dynamite and Collision to 3 hours, they'll do it. They're going to have the power to do it. If they want to use both shows or all three shows to promote whatever products they want, they're going to do it. And that's a fact. That's a fact, and that's the reality, of the fine print catch to this whole deal. But let me know what your thoughts are. Talk to y'all later.